Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Himanshu Arora from Department of Anthropology, University of Delhi. Today we are going to study a module titled Ageism and Elder Abuse from the paper Biosocial Gerontology. First of all, let's start with the learning objectives of the module. Through this module, you will be able to understand ageism and its different levels, stereotypes and dimensions of aging, and elderly abuse and its different forms. Now, we'll start with a brief introduction. Ageism is often defined as a process of stereotyping and discriminating against a person or people simply because they are older. Ageism is widespread in every society, and older people often feel subjugated, oppressed, and often find harder to get or maintain a job, access healthcare services or housing, enjoy freely the things that a community has to offer because of how their age is judged. Ageism is multifaceted and exhibits in multiple ways, such as harmful attitudes towards older people, old age, and the aging process. Earlier, people did not have prejudgment towards older people. In fact, being old was regarded as a privilege and were often the head of the family, the most respected person in a village, community, group, or family. They were regarded as the wisest, most knowledgeable, and often consulted in times of dispute or settlement of issues due to their more extensive knowledge base and greater memory for the history of the group. An interesting theory that sparingly explains one way that ageism might have risen is terror management theory. This theory perceives culture and religion as creations that give order and meaning to our existence, and that this protects us from terrifying thoughts of one's own mortality and the apparent random nature of life. Self esteem is derived from believing that one has a purpose and place in the world. Thus, according to this theory, self esteem serves as a buffer against anxiety associated with thoughts of one's mortality. Another aspect is that anxiety and fear, which is associated with death, lead younger people to blame older people for their dilemma in getting older. They blame the older person, stereotyping him or her, and treating elders with pity, anger, or irritation. Younger people are able to cover themselves into believing that they will not eventually age and die. This derogation of older people only serves to create a continuous cycle of increasing prejudice against older persons. Ageism is also believed to play a vital role in culture placing change, mobility, and speed in the workforce. The concept is that the greater they weigh on the cultural things, the more likely society will perceive the older worker as not competent or competitive, but might be regarded as a burden on the resources of society. Nowadays, ageism is so ubiquitous that it is found even among those who help older persons. This has greater implications for the physical and mental health of the older patient, as age stereotypes can bias the treatment recommendations that the therapist or physicians has for the older patient. However, an ageist behavior is only perceived as offensive by those older persons who does not have functional disability, or those older people who have physical or mental deficiencies tend to believe that ageist conduct actually helps in building relationship between the younger and the older individual, and that communication is comforting to them. Now we'll talk about ageism and its different levels. Ageism is widespread and often a cultural phenomenon. Ageism gives meaning to chronological age such that people often judge or assess a person according to their capacity, ambition, and value on the basis of their age and the expectations of a person by the society are governed by how old they are. Ageism is seen even in institutional systems, individual attitudes, and intergenerational relationships. Institutional practices that reflects the ageist ethos includes the use of age limits to govern access to services or participation in the workplace. Any form of discrimination that exclude older people from work or from key services and inadequate policy responses to the situation of older people such that they find themselves relegated and deprived in society. Individual attitudes governing an ageist involves a range of stereotypes and false assumptions. The stereotypes and assumptions, such as the lack of capacity for novelty of older people, relate to the nature of the skills held by older people, dependence, and non participation or liability of older people. Intergenerational relationships that reflect this ageist culture is perceived from a norm that appears to suggest that discrimination against older people is somehow justifiable and even normal in being part of how things have always been done. This makes discrimination against older people harder to identify as a problem, which often becomes less visible as an issue. In a worst case scenario, intergenerational relationships can also lead to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse of older people on the basis of their age. Now we'll talk about stereotypes. Ageism serves as a social partition between young and old, which can prevent older person from fully participating in social, political, economic, cultural, spiritual, civic, and other activities. Society may also influence these decisions in the attitude they express to older people or even by building barriers to their participation. WHO gave various distinctions of stereotypes based on the way they perceive things. Some common stereotypes about older people are that they cannot look after themselves, are slow and incapable of learning new things, do not know what is best for them, need to be protected, lack intellectual and physical capacity, and are a burden on society. A stereotyped person develops the notion that older people are often not fit for the workforce as they have passed the age of active working. Though older people have a slow decline in information processing and attention with age, most individuals maintain mental fitness and learning abilities well into older age. They also have the advantage of possessing more experience and institutional memory. The stereotypes believe that older people become helpless as they age. However, older people are not helpless. For instance, in Japan, after the 2011 earthquake and tsunami, older people and retired individuals came for aid in the nuclear disaster sites as they were not worried for the long-term exposure. Stereotyping of older individual is also based on the notion that they eventually become senile. With aging, occasional memory lapses are common and the risk of developing dementia, symptoms rises steeply with the age in people over 60 years of age. The possible signs of dementia, such as inability to perform simple tasks, difficulty in completing sentences, and confusion about the month or season, difficulty in remembering past events, etc., are not normal signs of aging and differs individually. Older people mostly are able to manage their financial affairs and their day to day lives. Stereotyping also arises when they grow old, as in some societies, women's worth are equated with their beauty, youth, and ability to procreate. Therefore, in such societies, it can lead to the discrimination of older women. Among older people, sometimes treatable diseases and illnesses are often overlooked and neglected as being a normal part of aging. Aging does not necessarily cause pain, and only extreme old age is associated with limitation of bodily function. Stereotypes often make the mistake of understanding that the right to the best possible health does not diminish with age. It is mainly society that sets age limits for access to complex treatments or proper rehabilitation and secondary prevention of disease and disability. It is not age that limits the health and participation of older people. Rather, it is individual and societal misconceptions, discrimination, and abuse that prevent active and dignified aging. Now, the dimensions of ageism. Ageism generates both discrimination and inequality for older people. It cuts their access to and enjoyment of resources such as jobs and income, education, health, and accommodation. It can also lead to discrimination, poverty, access to power, and decision making for older people. The result of ageism leads to the non compliance of their needs, as they are not considered to be a priority and are often not given due consideration. It also restrains them to their access to relationships of care, love, solidarity, and respect, which are the basic necessity for an emotional support. Ageism also negates the diversity of older people, which in turn can have a particular impact on different groups of older people. Ageism can be found in all aspects of life and are particularly among older individuals. Some of the spheres where ageism can be found are ageism in social relations and attitudes. It refers to those attitudes, actions, and vocabularies whereby we accord people a diminished social status solely or mainly by reference to their chronological age. Ageism can be directed against people of any age, although it is perhaps most intense when directed at older people. It can operate at several levels, from the interpersonal to the institutional, and is seen by many gerontologists as equivalent to racism or sexism, which is equally damaging and perhaps even more corrosive, since it is more likely to be accepted as normal or inevitable. Ageism may therefore be a new name for an old problem. Age discrimination in employment. Since the 1930s, there has been a debate about the use of age criteria in hiring, firing, promotion, demotion, remuneration, training, and mandatory retirement, which many anti-ageism activists see as the most objectionable example of age discrimination. Such rudimentary age proxies are held to be unfair, since heterogeneity in health status, cognitive ability, and working capacity increases among same age group. Accordingly, it is often argued that age alternatives should be replaced by an individualized performance assessment, and mandatory retirement should be replaced by flexible or phased retirement, giving individuals a greater opportunity to choose the precise time of their permanent retirement in the labor market. Age discrimination in the distribution of goods and services. This form of discrimination has entered the public policy program recently, but for a long term, anti ageism activists have argued that older people are often unfairly discriminated against in such areas as motor or holiday insurance or in healthcare, where there are long standing and well justified allegations of much for informal discrimination against older patients. Elderly abuse. Elder abuse is said to be one of the worst manifestation of ageism. Elder abuse is any action or lack of action by someone in a position of trust that harms the health or well being of an older person. Elder abuse can occur at any place, such as home, in the community, in hospital, and long term care facility. Abuse exists in many different forms, which can be physical, psychological, or sexual. It can also exist in the form of neglect and financial exploitation. The World Health Organization also defined abuse of older adults as a single or repeated act or lack of appropriate action occurring in any relationship where there is an expectation of trust that causes harm or distress to an older person. Elder abuse can hamper an older person's quality of life and significantly increase their overall risk of death. Abuse and neglect are culturally defined phenomena that reflect distinctions between values, standards, and unacceptable interpersonal behaviors. Like any other form of abuse, elder abuse is a violation of human rights and a significant cause of injury, illness, lost productivity, isolation, and despair. Factors such as modernization, industrialization, increasing aging population, urbanization, and an increase in the number of women in the workforce may explain increased report of elder abuse. Elder abuse can take several forms, including physical abuse, psychological or emotional abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, and neglect. Financial abuse. The most common form of elder abuse is the financial abuse, which is often referred to the theft or misuse of money or property like household goods, clothes, or jewelry. It can also include withholding funds or fraud. Financial abuse can also rise from the dependency. Older people with the lack of retirement funds or insufficiency caused by expensive health care support often become dependent to their children. In such instances, they can become a victim to abuse when their children itself are not economically stable. Financial abuse can be of many forms, such as forced to change will or sell house, unexplained or sudden inability to pay bills, lack of money to pay for food, medication, clothing, glasses, or other necessities, etc. Psychological or emotional abuse. The stubborn infliction of mental anguish or the provocation of fear of violence or isolation is known as psychological or emotional abuse. These kinds of abuses suppress the identity, dignity, and self esteem of the victim. Forms of psychological abuse include a number of behaviors such as calling names, yelling, ignoring the person, scolding, shouting, insults, threats, provoking fear, intimidation, or humiliation. Emotional deprivation, isolation, or the removal of decision making power, etc. This form of abuse can be very harmful in the long run as it might break down the self esteem of the victim and cause psychological injury like living in constant fear, difficulty in social participation, difficulty in opening up to another person, depression, etc. Various forms of psychological abuse can be withdrawal or extreme passivity, fear, anxiety, edginess, agitation, exclusion from discussion and major decisions, and restricted access to telephone, food, family, and service providers. In extreme cases, an abused older person might indicate fear of being left alone with the alleged abuser. Physical abuse. Any physical pain or injury that is deliberately inflicted upon a person, or unreasonable confinement or punishment resulting in physical harm, is abuse. Physical abuse includes hitting, slapping, pinching, pushing, burning, pulling hair, shaking, physical restraint, physical coercion, forced feeding, or withholding physical necessities. Older persons often becomes a victim to abuse due to many plausible reasons. Aging is associated with overall decline in the health of an individual, though the degree of the decline differs individually. Decline in health and economic dependency are the main instigators of elderly abuse. With the growing number of elderly, physical abuse has become a common evil in the society, which can be inflicted by the caregiver. Sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is understood as contact resulting from threats or force, or the inability of a person to give consent. Elder sexual abuse is understudied and rarely understood. Victims of elder sexual abuse frequently have medical conditions that cause memory loss, confusion, or problems with communication. Sexual abuse of elderly is a facet of elder mistreatment that can involve multiple forms of abuse. It can include various types of elder physical abuse and emotional abuse. It includes and are not limited to assault, rape, sexual harassment, intercourse without consent, fondling a confused older adult, intimately touching an older adult during bathing, exposing oneself to others, inappropriate sexual comments, or any sexual activity that occurs when one or both parties cannot or do not give consent. Neglect. Neglect can be intentional or unintentional and occurs when a person who has care or custody of a dependent senior fails to meet his or her needs. Various forms of neglect includes suppression or inadequate provision of physical requirements such as food, housing, medicine, clothing, or physical aids, insufficient supervision or safety precautions, inadequate hygiene, etc. It can also include inadequate provision of medical services like untimely medication, over medication, allowing a senior to live in unsanitary or poorly heated condition, denying access to necessary services like homemaking, nursing, social work, etc., or denial of an older adult's basic rights. Sometimes, for multiple reasons, older adults themselves may fail to provide adequate care for their own needs, and this form of abuse is called self-neglect. Systemic abuse in our society and the systems that develop within it can generate, permit, or perpetuate elder abuse, the most prevalent being discrimination against older adults due to their age, and often combined with any of these additional factors like gender, race, color, language, ethnic background, religion, sexual orientation, ability, economic status, or geographical location. The society itself might be inflicting pain to the elderly in ways unknown to the people. The society often sets rules and regulations which might not be suitable for the elderly but might cause them emotional distress. Such acts can be intentional or unintentional. Elder abuse is also more complicated than abuse in other age categories such as child abuse, as older adults tend to be capable of addressing issues themselves. However, situation becomes more complicated when older adults are economically, physically, and socially dependent on their families or caregivers. Older adults, however, may neglect to take care of their personal health and well-being, often due to declining mental awareness or capability, and choose to deny themselves health or safety benefit, which may not be self-neglect but a reflection of their personal choice. Now we'll summarize what we have studied till now. Ageism is the stereotyping and discriminating of an individual just because of their age. It is widespread in all cultures and societies. Ageism in all its form is a complex and convoluted matter to analyze, especially as its recent revival has been closely associated with governmental efforts to encourage and force older people back into employment. Ageism is seen even in institutional systems, individual attitudes, and intergenerational relationships. Some common stereotypes about older people that brought about the discrimination are that they cannot look after themselves, are slow and incapable of learning new things, do not know what is best for them, etc. Discrimination against an older person have been prevailing in societies, in social as well as economic sectors. Some of the spheres of ageism are change in status and role, retirement, and unequal distribution of goods and services. The worst manifestation of ageism is elder abuse. Ageism and the elder abuse in all of its forms negatively impacts the health of older adults. While some forms of elder abuse, including physical or sexual abuse in particular, have more obvious negative health implications, other forms of elder abuse, such as financial abuse, have the potential to deprive older adults of basic necessities for health and well-being. Neglect, which can be intentional or unintentional, have negative impact on the physical as well as psychological health. Long-term neglect can cause serious health issues on the elderly like depression, anxiety, isolation, etc. Additionally, ageist stereotypes based on perpetuated myths regarding the abilities and competencies of older adults affect their ability to remain active and valued member of the society. Thank you.